Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Total Truth Show. And here on the Total Truth Show, we want to help you break free from the lies and propaganda of the mainstream media, all the disinformation and misinformation. We want to help you blast through all of that. And my name is Ken Kleinberg, coming to you all the way from the USA, San Diego, California.
And I'm Aldwyn, known as the Media Queen, from the Gold Coast in Australia.
There is a great awakening happening in the world right now, and you're going to want to come along for the ride.
A lot of lies are coming to the surface. There's a lot of awakening happening. And as this awakening is happening, people realize they've been deceived to for years. They've been lied to for years around all sorts of things. A lot of people have been blind to what has been going on in the world, and now they're starting to see. They're starting to see things in a different light.
Through our show, we want to raise global consciousness to quantum critical mass. And we don't want you just to accept the things that we're saying. That goes for our guests as well. We want you to do the research for yourself. Get out there and start questioning things. Start looking things up. Do the research. We want to pave the way for a new awakened world. And we want you to come along for the ride. So with that, let's get started, you guys. Let's dive into today's episode. Once again, welcome.
Oh, yes. Welcome. And what an amazing new intro you've done there, Ken. That is so brilliant. In fact, it's so good. I'm going to give you the clap for that one. Yay. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you.
Welcome to Total Truth Show, episode 59. We have the amazing Jeff Sommers with us, and a little bit about Jeff before we talk about our hot topic for today, the truth about reputation marketing. Now, Jeff is a former pharmacist. He came from a place called Medowie near Newcastle in New South Wales before he moved to Queensland. And he got every job he went after because of his reputation. Now, on moving to Queensland, he couldn't get enough work because there's a surplus of pharmacists, as it turns out. And he then started setting up websites and branched into reputation marketing. Now he's introduced AI into his business to get better results. I've known Jeff for probably 20 years, and I know you've been very consistent, Jeff, over the years, turning up at a lot of the same networking events that I have. It's fantastic to have you on our show. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was great to be here.
Great to have you here, Jeff. Great to have you. Now, I know you said there's a shortage of pharmacists. However, pharmacy to websites is quite a big shift. So why websites for you?
Actually, I have no idea. And when I came up here, there was a surplus of pharmacists. Now there's a shortage. But of course, I couldn't get enough work. If you don't work with a certain number of hours, you lose your registration. So then I had to look for something else to do. So I started sort of just investigating websites. I went to Sydney and did a 3-day course on how to set up websites. Came home and couldn't set one up. So didn't know what was going wrong. The guy stopped helping me. I found a guy here on the Gold Coast. I went and spent a day with him, and then I couldn't understand why I found it so hard in the first place. Because and the thing is that with me, I don't have to learn something. I have to understand it. If I understand it, I can adjust.
Yeah, and
I'm
as
just
they
trying
say,
to learn things rote, just follow a pattern, then I don't really understand it and I can't really get going. But when you understand it, you can adjust to all the different things that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And they say everything is hard until it becomes easy. So how long ago did you start with the websites, Jeff?
Well, I probably started in about 2012, I think it was. So that's 12 years.
Right. 12 years, yeah. And I've probably known you the whole time, I'd say, from different events.
Yeah.
So maybe it hasn't been 20 years, but it feels like 20 years. It certainly does. And it's been great to see you consistently show up. And back then, I'd say in the early days of websites, there was, coding of websites that was happening back then, and now it's much easier with WordPress and with all the themes, etc., that people can create their own websites, and things like Wix out there. And, there's so many different ways you can do websites now. And I know for a lot of people, it does seem overwhelming. And so if you're not good at websites, then outsource it to someone like Jeff or someone who does websites. And now, of course, reputation marketing, our topic for today, is so hot because we've seen through this pandemic, we have seen a lot of scammers come out of the woodwork, right? And we now know that we need to do our due diligence very well before we start working with people, and that it's important that we also build up our own reviews from clients, and we look after our clients so that we get great reviews online, because that's how a lot of people do business now, right, Jeff?
Yeah, that's right. And back in my days when I was in pharmacy, it was all word of mouth. And that's why I got such good results. If you went for a new job, the new boss asked the old boss how you performed. And I had a lot of jobs because I was doing a lot of locum work, which meant every job only lasted 3 or 4 weeks. And I just go from one to another. And that's one of the things I really loved about that. And I actually did most of my work in Sydney. And when I was moving from Sydney up to Madawi, I asked my boss in Sydney for reference, and after he sent it, he said he considered giving me a bad one.
Oh.
And his reasons for that was, if he gave me a bad reference, I couldn't go anywhere else. I'd have to stay and work for him.
Oh.
In a way, best reference you can ever get, isn't it?
That's amazing. He didn't want you to leave. Well, that's fantastic.
That whenever anyone asked for a pharmacist who could walk into another pharmacy, look after the pharmacy quite well without upsetting either staff or customers, I was at the top of his list. And I did that because I tried to get on with everybody. I handled all the problems as they came, didn't put anything off, made decisions as though it was my own pharmacy. And things worked out pretty well. I've actually owned 2 pharmacies in the past anyway.
You have owned 2 pharmacies. Yeah, and it's interesting you were touching on that you wouldn't want to be a pharmacist nowadays with COVID, etc. So just to sidetrack a little bit on what's gone on with pharmacists now since the pandemic, what are your thoughts now about that?
Well, the pharmacists are actually giving a lot of injections at the moment, and they're pushing all this COVID stuff. I have never had a vaccine in my life on anything. When I was a kid, I got mumps, measles, chickenpox. And back in those days, if you got mumps, measles, chickenpox, all the cousins come around to play with you so that they'd get it too. Get it over and done with while they're still in primary school. Parents wanted their kids to get it. And it was mainly just an inconvenience. It was something, a rite of passage type of thing as you were growing up. So I had all those things. And now, because of that, you build up the immunity to that, but it builds up your immune system so you're able to tackle anything else. So I hardly ever even get a cold.
I find it really fascinating that it's such the way you kind of described your childhood there around, measles, mumps, and chickenpox and all that other stuff. You described it in such a way that's very foreign to some people today. And what I mean by that is your description of all of that has a very much lack of fear. Nowadays, all of that is encompassed in this fear box to get you to get the chickenpox vaccine or this vaccine or that vaccine and stuff like that. It's all like centered around this fear. And you had a childhood which was not. In fact, you said, and I love the fact that you said it, there were parents that brought the children over to other people that had it so that their kids would get it too and get it over with. That's a foreign concept.
Yeah, that was the current thought at the time. And I really loved it. And the thing is that if I got sick, well, actually, my father was a ambulance officer, and that helped a bit. But, we just treated disease with just looking after the body. The body sort of cleared itself. I take precautions nowadays because I cook my main meal in the middle of the day with turmeric and black pepper. Turmeric is anti-inflammatory. Black pepper makes it about 5 or 10 times more effective. I also have garlic on a regular basis. Garlic's a natural antibiotic. Every morning I have a zinc tablet, and I have a magnesium tablet every night. These are very essential for the body. And I get vitamin D from the sun. I don't use sunscreen. I'm not out in the sun a lot, but when I'm out there, I don't worry about it. So all these things are just building up my immune system. And the fact that I get exposed to things and I'm just able to resist it all. And each exposure you get strengthens the immune system. That's the way I look at it.
It's wonderful, Jeff. I think it's really great that you're so conscious about that. And it's interesting as we talk about reputation marketing, we think of the pharmacies that have been pushing the jab on people, right? The free jab here, there, and everywhere. For a lot of people, they've actually, their reputation's gone down because of that, right? Whereas there's other people who've been in this field who are, the natural health doctors, etc., that have been speaking out about it. Their reputation has gone up in certain people's eyes because they've been willing to be a stand against, the coercion that has been going on through the last few years. And they've been standing their ground.
And some doctors and nurses are actually being disqualified. Hello?
Yeah.
So the screen just went blank, sorry. Doctors and nurses are being taken their registration away. And, if I was still a pharmacist, I'd probably have mine taken away because of that too.
Yeah, I actually, Well, that's very interesting because I know an acupuncturist in Brisbane who was told that he had to tell everyone that they needed to get the jab, but he was okay not to actually have it himself. Now, isn't that interesting, right? But he had to make sure that he said to every one of his clients that they've got to get the jab. So I found that very interesting, right? All sorts of things are happening behind the scenes that people are not aware of, and I think it's important to question everything. And when it comes to reputation marketing, if you just go along with the status quo and believe everything you hear in the mainstream media, then, you're basically a sheep. You're a sheep to society, and you're not someone who I respect personally. Your reputation goes right down with me because it's someone who's not questioning what's going on in the world. We know, like, I really admire entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs in general, I really admire because they are the black sheep, so to speak. They are the wolves. They're the ones who are willing to go against the status quo. They're the ones who are willing to make change happen. They're the misfits, the rebels. They're the ones that go, and they're the trailblazers, right? They don't just follow along with the flock. As much as I love sheep as animals, I think it's very important to question things. And if it doesn't feel right for you, then don't do it. And if it means that you need to change your profession, as you have, Jeff, gone from pharmacy to, reputation marketing, you're very well known as someone who helps people with this now, with reputation marketing. So it just goes to show that, you don't have to stick with what you've been doing because you fear that you're gonna lose money if you don't do what you've always done. You do what you've always done, you keep going to get the same results, right? So having that courage to speak your truth regardless of what is going on out there, this will increase your reputation in my eyes. What are some other things that people can do to build their reputation?
Well, the main thing is that you do everything according to your own conscience. You've got to have a conscience, and most people have got a conscience, and it's inbuilt, but some people override it. But do all the things that you think to help people. Work on love for everybody else. Try and care about them. And as Zig Ziglar said, you can get whatever you like in this life as long as you help everybody else get what they want.
Yeah.
And so the idea is to help other people along the way, whichever way you can.
Yeah,
And, you know,
I think, yeah, that's so
even just
important.
helping an old lady across the road or something like that, it all
Yeah.
helps.
Yeah. And in some people's eyes, your reputation may go down because you're not following the status quo, right?
Yeah.
And that's okay because not everyone are your people, right? And what we've seen through the pandemic is that we've seen, you know, because of certain beliefs out there, that friends have dropped away in some circumstances and then others have come in, right? New communities have been developed. The common law groups have been coming together. There's been new communities forming around, you know, people that are willing to be a stand for what they believe is right with their conscience, right? That they know, they felt in their gut, like I did, that there's something off about this whole pandemic thing. There's something really off about it. And I'm not going to just toe the party line. And if it means I never have to travel again, if it means I never go to a restaurant again, I was willing to do that rather than toe the party line and to inject a poison in my body that, you know, I had no idea, that hadn't been tested properly. I had no idea what the side effects were going to be. And for the government to coerce people into doing that is absolutely, I believe, crimes against humanity. And it's now starting to come out more and more now. The legal cases are coming out that they were completely in the wrong to do that. And more people are waking up, they're speaking up, more and more people are following their passions, like you have, Jeff, with getting into websites, even though at first it was a little bit shaky and you didn't really understand it. However, now, you know, 12 years on, you know, you are the reputation marketing guy, you know, you're who people come to. So what are some of the things that you do, Jeff, with your clients if they want to build their reputation? What are some of the first steps that you take them through, and how do you work with people on that?
Well, basically, the first thing you've got to do is make sure that your Google business profile is set up correctly. And quite a lot of small businesses don't have one. And those that have just got it up there with hardly anything on it. But you can put a lot of stuff on there, and you can keep it active by putting posts up on a regular basis and let Google know that you're still in business. If Google thinks that there's a site up there that hasn't been or has no information put up in the last 6 or 8 months, are you still in business? So you've got to let them know that now, and then you've got to start getting reviews up there. Now, the only way to get reviews up on Google is to ask for them. Now, you can just ask, will you please leave me a review? And they say, yes, we'll do that, but nothing happens. One of the things I found is that there is a special link that takes people straight through to the review page, and you make sure that they've got that link. At the moment, I've got a little card which I can just tap on somebody's phone, and it will take them through to where my review link is, and they can give me a star rating, and then they can make a little comment. And then once you get the review, you must always reply to it. But of course, you know, if you're pretty smart, you don't give that link to people that are a bit upset with you, but you give it to anyone that you're really satisfied with. And so it's impossible to please 100% of the people 100% of the time. Somebody somewhere is going to be unhappy with what you did. And quite a lot of people have unfair expectations of what you can achieve. I had one client who was a motor mechanic, and the lady put in a car for a basic service on Auto Guru, and there's not much money in that. It's just a matter of getting people in the door. Anyway, when he first started working on it, he found a major oil leak. So he rang the lady and says, do you want me to fix it? And she says, no. She says, I haven't got the money today. We'll fix it another time. So she came and picked the car up. That night, she put a post up on a review up saying that he had the car all day and didn't fix the oil leak. So we put a response up saying that he found the oil leak as soon as he started working on it. He phoned the lady and she said, don't do it today. And then adding in, we do not do what we are not authorised to do.
Of course,
okay,
yeah.
That's turning a negative into a positive.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do. Turn the negative into a positive by the way you answer. And anyone that looks at that, because the thing is, when you do when you put the answer up or the reply, You're not replying to the person who left it, the review. You're replying to everybody that's going to read it.
Yep.
Reading that is going to know, I'm not going to put my car into that business and come back and find out I'm paying $1,000 more than I expected. And that's a security thing that in everybody that reads that, they know that if anything is wrong with their car, they're going to get notified. And they're not going to get any sudden extra money to have to pay out. So that's turning a negative into a positive. And that's the thing. And when you're replying to anything, don't reply straight away if you're upset. And one of the things for my clients is call me, and I'll work out a way of doing it. And when I was working in pharmacy, I was the go-to person for any difficult customers. They come and see me if there was somebody that they were having trouble with. And I go out there and I sort it all out.
Yeah, that's really good advice. My dad always said anger is danger. And so if you get angry about someone leaving a bad review and you respond in an angry tone, that's going to actually really drop your reputation. Because the thing is with Google reviews, you can't actually take them down or can't report them. Like I know sometimes on Facebook, people put fake reviews. They've never worked with you and they just try to tarnish your reputation. And with Facebook, you can actually report it and can get them taken down, I believe. But I don't think that's the same with Google. Is that right, Jeff?
No, well, Facebook's, that's the theory. Doesn't always work.
Right.
Okay. Now with Facebook, you can't do it much with Facebook, or either you can apply for it, but it doesn't always happen. And I had another time there where a business got a very bad review. This was another mechanic, and the review said that the mechanic wouldn't release the car, and they had to call the police in. So I saw it as soon as it arrived. And I rang this guy and I said, what happened? He said, it didn't happen here. Then the same review turned up on Facebook. We were able to chase the guy, and it turns out it really did happen. But it happened to a business with a similar name in Victoria. My client was on the Gold Coast. We got in touch with that guy and he pulled them down. The only person who can remove the review is really the person who left it, but he pulled them down. So we fixed the problem. I think it was up for about 20 or 30 minutes before it was removed.
Right. Well, I know on my Facebook pages, I've been able to remove reviews because I've had like fake crypto things go on there, people promoting, different links and things like that. Like they're just fake people doing fake reviews. And I mean, actually, they often left 5-star. They put 5-star there, probably hoping people would leave the review up. But I mean, it wasn't relevant to my media business, and so and it's leading. It was basically a way to try to get my audience to go over to their crypto thing.
Well, they've had the same thing. But they don't remove it. But I put a little note down the bottom. I put a reply on it saying it's a scam. Don't go for it.
Right. Well, that's another thing. I guess you could respond to the scam. However, the link's still there. So I was able to go in and report it and get it removed off Facebook in that case. But it is something you need to keep an eye on. And also in Facebook chats, people get in there and they leave porn things and all sorts of stuff in there. Now, you really got to monitor, really monitor your chats in Facebook and things like that. If you have a group chat, I've had quite a few porn spammers just go in there and, usually from India or somewhere like that, they go and put some kind of porn video in there and, you just got to stay on top of it. So I would recommend too that in that case that you have a thing where you have to approve people's posts, you have to approve people's chat comments before they go in, so that you can get rid of those porn ones. However, with reviews, of course, anyone can leave reviews. I love how you said make it easy for people to leave a review. And something I've done is in my Linktree links, I've actually got a specific review link, and at that review link, it's actually a separate Linktree, which is Linktree / AA reviews is what it's called. And it's actually got my Google, Facebook, and LinkedIn link for people to leave reviews. So it's a direct link there. And another thing I thought of, on the weekend, I just emceed a conference, a 2-day conference, and I had a whole lot of really good comments come back about my emceeing. And I thought, well, I haven't really promoted that I've been an MC. And so something that we're going to be rolling out is people who leave nice comments about my emceeing. We're actually going to thank them on our socials and do a little image to thank people that have thanked me. So if people leave nice comments on your Facebook, you could share that comment and, thank the person for doing that and highlight it so people see it, because we know there's so much information coming at us every day. In fact, it's about 16 movies worth of information coming at us every day. And so to really, get those nice comments that people say and actually package them up and then reshare them is also a lovely thing we can do. And some people screenshot the comments and they share them on their stories and reels and things like that. So letting people know consistently, don't just share it once, share it multiple times. People need to see things multiple times before they get it. And of course, it's the best way to get, to boost your business is to have that word of mouth marketing where people say you're amazing as opposed to you saying you're amazing.
Yeah,
so keep an eye out.
Yeah. Another good thing is to have some testimonials on the home page.
Yes.
Just have a line across with 3 or 4 testimonials. You might be able to put a carousel in there with about 5 of them. Don't go overboard, but don't have a special testimonial page. If there's a special page on your website for testimonials, nobody looks at it.
Right.
On your main page, your home page, they will quite often see it, and that will count.
Would you put the testimonials on the side of you, because you'd have like usually an intro video or something, you'd have a bit about the company. Would you put the testimonials up on the side, like above the fold, as they say, above the fold on the website? Would you have a few testimonials?
You can put them on the sidebar, or you can put them, a carousel. Sorry.
Yeah.
No,
That's okay.
I'm not used to talking on this much.
Yeah, it's great to have you on, Jeff. So great. And I believe you're aged over 70. Is that correct?
It's being very kind. It's actually 82.
82. Are you kidding me? You're 82. Mm-hmm. Wow. What an inspiration. So you started your website business when you were 70.
Yeah.
That's extraordinary. Wow. Well, that deserves a clap as well, I must say. Here's my clapper. Yay. That's awesome. Well, that just goes to show that anything is possible at any age. And in fact, the day you retire is often the day you start to die quite quickly, right? Because, that's what people, you need something to live for. And I've got a new client I'm working with called Melinda Richards, who we actually interviewed on our Media Mavens show last night. And she was retired by 41. By 41, she could have retired. However, she's chosen to keep going with what she's doing because she'd be bored otherwise, right? So I think, finding something you love to do, I think it's brilliant.
I keep telling people they're invited to my retirement party. Otherwise, there's no wake.
Well, it's good that you're awake. You're awake at this time, and there's no wake coming up anytime soon. And you're very healthy for 82. That's amazing. I thought you were sort of early 70s. So that's awesome. That's really brilliant. Ken, what do you do around reputation marketing for yourself?
I have testimonies. So when I get a client that has gotten some results, they like what they like what's going on, then I will often get a video testimony from them. And so right now there's actually 3 video testimonies that are right up on my main page of my website. So you just have to kind of scroll down through my website, and then it's like kind of midway down as you go, but it's right there. So they don't have to go to a page. They don't have to go somewhere else. It's like right there. They can just see it on my main page of my website. So I'll do video testimonies. And right now I've got 3 of them up on my website.
Yeah, great. I've noticed a lot of people doing these video testimonials, doing like little reels out of them, with the captions, and actually having people sharing on their Instagram. I've noticed a lot more on their Facebook feeds. Stories and reels are very popular, of course, at the moment. So wherever you can, I think video is very powerful because you can always, transcribe the words in the video and create an image out of it, or, create an audio, even an audio testimonial that you could use. So I think it is really powerful. And I think getting those reviews reviews as soon as the customer is happy. Like I've had people I've done media consultations with, and they're over the moon. They've got this new branding, they're so excited, and they say they'll go away and do a testimonial, and then they don't do it, right? So whereas if I just got the camera there and then, and just go, hey, just a quick one, stick the camera in their face, right, and just say, let us know what's happened. Just capture it in the moment. I think you've got to be brave enough to just say, hey, can we just get a really quick testimonial, and just capture it while people are at that high, which is usually straight after they've been working with you. If they go away, a day or two later, they just forget about it, they get busy, and then that high vibe feeling has now gone. So really the timing, I think, is crucial with these testimonials as well.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a dry throat. It's not a infection or anything.
Yeah, there's no COVID. But even if you had COVID, look, we're online here, so we're not going to catch it anyway. But I must say I've never had the jab, and I am very healthy, and I've never had the big C word, and I'm, I get into the garlic as well, Jeff. I have a lot of garlic. If I ever feel a little tingle of the throat or any sort of slight cold coming on, I'll just hit it hard with the garlic. I have about 10 cloves of garlic, raw garlic, and this is why I'm single, because it's a hell of a smell. It's not that bad, but garlic is very, very good for you. Whether in a relationship or not, it's very, very good for you, and I highly recommend it.
If you have garlic, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So I absolutely love it. What are some other things people can do for reputation marketing, Jeff?
Well, the thing is, the first thing you've got to do is you've got to make sure that you give good service, that you actually care about what you do. Care about what you do. And keep learning so that you're able to give better service. Don't be satisfied with what you did 10 years ago. And the thing is you're constantly learning.
Absolutely.
And, one of the things that my father used to say to me, and whenever I do something, he said, what did you learn from that? And when I went home and I wanted some help with my maths problems, and he never showed me how to do it. He never told me how to do it. He just asked me a series of questions so that I arrived at the answer myself. That's probably the best way to teach anyone. Ask them questions until they arrive at the answer. And the thing is that you've got to make sure that you keep trying to be better all the time and build that reputation. Keep a constant keep in contact with people. Keep talking to them. One of the things that happens with a lot of videos, if you get on the video and they actually hear you and see you, that builds up the know, like, and trust a lot more. If they just read about what you say, it's not quite so important. But if they can actually get to know you, like you, because they actually see you there and talking, it's far better rather than just having something written down.
Yeah.
And also get around to meet people. And I'm involved in quite a few networking things. And I turn up and I know so many people. Matter of fact, since I moved to Queensland, I know more people and I'm known by more people than at any other time in my life.
Wow.
And I keep running into people that I've known since I came up here. But I've lost track of a lot of people from Sydney. But it's up here, there's just so many people. And some of them I haven't seen for years, and we just meet together again. And, just like the years didn't go by.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. Being consistent, showing up, being front of mind for people. I know people that have bought programs where they've spent like $10,000 and more, and then they get quite upset when they never hear from that company. You're like, oh, they've never called me once to see how I am, or it's like people have an expectation that you're going to follow up with them after they purchase from you, even if you haven't said you're going to follow up with them. People almost expect that extra service now. They expect you to care. They want you to care, because we don't know who to trust now with all the scammers out there, and a lot of people have been ripped off buying programs, particularly coaching programs. All these overnight coaches now with AI and with the whole pandemic thing, right? There's been a lot of people that are just like suddenly overnight coaches, and they've got some of them are very convincing with their pitch, and then often it can be quite crap courses that people end up buying, or there's no follow-up service, there's no care factor. It's just the quick grab the money and run. And people have had enough of that. They really want that connection now. They want people to care. They want they want to work with people on a deeper level. I believe they don't just want to buy another online course, because often they won't do anything with it anyway. They want that extra support. I think if you want to build your reputation, you've got to go above and beyond in some way, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. And I like to work with my people, and I quite often like to meet with them. Sometimes, depending on the distance, we might have to do it on Zoom. But I do like to actually meet people at coffee shops or something like that, or sometimes at their place of business. And this is the one thing I love. I like actually interacting with the people I deal with on a personal level.
Yeah, totally agree. In fact, yesterday I met my co-hosts on the BX Networking. I'm one of the leaders of the Tuesday 9 a.m. Australian-led one. And so I met up with Darren and Jeff, who we've been hosting online events together for years, and to actually meet in person yesterday. I had met Jeff before in person, but Darren was from Sydney and he's up here on the Gold Coast. And we all met up yesterday, and it was so cool to actually connect in person rather than just on Zoom. And, it's funny because when Darren and Jeff saw each other, Jeff said, "Oh, you're shorter than I thought," to Darren, and Darren said, "Oh, you're taller than I thought." But Jeff, so you don't see the height, of course, when people are on Zoom, but a beautiful connection. We got photos together, and I mean, who knows when that might happen again? That was a once in a few year opportunity where we're all in the same room together. And Jeff actually came down from Brisbane for that. But but going that extra mile to meet people when you're in town, or to deepen those connections, I think is really important. And in fact, Ken and I met online. We haven't actually met in person yet, Ken and I. However, hopefully we will meet in person. I'm planning to go to America either late this year or next year. So if you don't come to Australia, of course. So one day we will meet in person. And, thankfully for the pandemic, the positive came out of it. We met on an online networking event and interviewed each other for each other's shows, and then realized we had a great dynamic and similar views on life. And here we are, nearly 60 shows on. We couldn't wait till our 60th episode to launch our new branding and our new intro. And so I hope you like it. We're very happy with our new branding, and we keep growing and evolving together, and we haven't actually had a fight yet, Ken, and hopefully we won't have a fight. I think we're mature enough. We actually haven't had any little tiffs or arguments. We actually get along fantastically. It doesn't have to be full of drama. And how can you bring some more peace to your situation at work, at home, with people you're working with? And you can have disagreements on things. It doesn't mean you have to fight about it and suddenly go, "Oh, I'm not going to be your friend anymore because we don't agree on something." So everyone, I respect everyone for their opinions. What we do here on Total Truth shows, we encourage people to question everything. And so with reputation marketing, back to reputation marketing, notice how other people are building their reputation online. So for example, if you want to be a speaker, get some photos of you on the microphone. This is what Joe Worthy was saying at this summit on the weekend, or this conference, this Worthy Women conference. She said, if you want to be a speaker, get some photos online with you holding a microphone. And so sure enough, I took action on that. I thought, there's not many photos of me with a microphone. So I actually used some of the photos that Leonie Bolt took on the weekend. I've shared them on my Instagram, my LinkedIn, and you'll see I did a post about my emceeing, and I said I'm very I loved emceeing and looking for more emceeing opportunities. So I'm putting it out there, and thanking everyone for their lovely comments, etc. So how can you build the reputation with maybe something you've already got? Maybe you've got some marketing material out there that people haven't seen, or how could you build your reputation in however you want to be known as an expert? Or if you're an author, how can you get some photos out there of you with your book, or doing some book signings or something like that? That's all ways you can build your reputation. What are some other ideas, guys? What are some other ways to build the reputation?
Yeah, well, put everything you can on Facebook and LinkedIn. LinkedIn mainly is for business to business.
Yes.
And Facebook is for a lot of others. and make sure that what you put up is entertaining, and put things up on a regular basis. And it's just as long as you're in front of mind all the time, and like, comment, and share. When you see something that any of your friends have put up, like, comment, and share, so that you're actually promoting one another. I'm also in BX, and this is one of the things I've started to tell people now. If you see a post put up by one of the other members, like, comment, and share, and do it to one another. And you get your friends to help you build your reputation by doing that. And that's one of the main things I like about things. They are doing it. And the other thing I forgot to mention before was make sure that you actually try and fix the problems. If you actually do make a mistake, fix it. I made a mistake in pharmacy one time when I actually gave somebody the wrong medication. Now, it wasn't serious because it was the same drug made by a different company, and it was the same strength. But he bought it back, and what made it worse was somebody else had done the same thing 6 months before. So I just grabbed the medication, didn't make an excuse and say, well, it doesn't really matter, it's just a different brand. Didn't do anything like that. I just said, I'll fix it. And I went outside, changed it, gave him the correct medication. And from then on, for the next 3 months, every time he came into the shop, he asked for me.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. Owning when you make a mistake with something, when you stuff up, own it and come clean about it and communicate.
And don't make excuses. Just fix it.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Ken? What are some things that you can recommend around this? And for those joining us too, for those joining us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, X, Instagram, I can see our beautiful friend Robert Mull has said he's really looking forward to hearing the true reality of what's happening in the world. That's great, Robert. And he says, well done, Jeff. We've got Latu Rosenbury here. We have John Perry, Lisa Jowett Coaching. Hello, Kathy Banks. I am Jenny Oceans, Vikram Navik, Laura Fernando Arango. Welcome on Instagram. If you have any questions or comments around reputation marketing, any of your tips even, please share in the chat with us. We like to make this an interactive show. And also, if you're tuning in to the podcast afterwards as well, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Cam, what are your tips on a reputation marketing?
So the tips that I would give is, so there's a couple of them, but one of them being the main thing. So, and it can be quite a learning process to develop this particular skill, but when you're putting yourself out there, so that's actually one, put yourself out there on a consistent basis through videos, through whatever it is. That would be one. Secondly, when you're producing content in the videos, is something that I'm actually just now learning and kind of grasping the concept of. It's not necessarily about putting information out there, because right now, like, there's a lot of information out there. People can go to YouTube and find out information about X, Y, Z, and all this other stuff, right? What they're really interested in and what's really going to start grabbing the people is when you start focusing on transformation and results. This is what you're sharing out there: transformation and results, linking your story, linking your results, linking your clients' results in everything that you're sharing. And now it's not necessarily about the information that you can put out there. The information is literally going to come, and this is kind of a hard one. This has been a hard one for me to swallow. The information is going to come when they are in your program. They're part of your client. Then you get to give them all that. But I even though, like, for me, like, I like putting out like videos of information. Hey, did you know about the cholesterol con? Do you know about this and da da da? And this is, this is wrong. And here's the lies they told us about this and da da da. But, and all that has its place. But it's more about the transformation and results, and learning to put out more content that favors those things than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That sounds
great tips. Yeah, great tips there. And what are some other tips, Jeff? What else would you say we can do around reputation marketing?
Well, just get out there and sort of, as you say, make videos and produce those. Set yourself up with a YouTube channel and put videos up there on a regular basis, and also post those videos onto social media, so that you're
Yes.
actually getting there as much as possible. People are seeing you all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how many times do they need to see us? Now, it used to be about 7 times, but I think now it's like they need to see you over 11 times before they do business with you. Do you know
Yeah,
what the
no,
current stats are?
it's just getting more and more that they've got to see you, mainly because this, as you say, there's so many scams out there that they've got to see you a lot of times before they'll actually start to trust you. So the more you can get out there in front of people, the better. So,
Yeah.
so if anyone wants to know anything more, that on my website there's they can book a consultation with me. I'll talk to anyone about their reputation and or anything that they want to do with their online presence, because basically everything about you online affects your reputation in some way. The more places you are exposed, the better. And so that's
Yes.
the thing. You've got to be on as many places as you can, and not just relying on a website. You've got to have a whole lot of other stuff up there. The more places, the better.
Absolutely. And how do you work with people if they want to, come to you? I mean, you look at their reputation, but do you sort of have packages you work with them to change things? Do you work with them over a period of time, group work, one-on-one? How do you actually work with people?
Everybody is one-on-one.
Mhm.
And if somebody comes to me new without anything, I do have packages for that, setting up a website or Google Business Profile. But a lot of the stuff that I do is actually adding on to what they're already doing. So it's individual needs that I work on, rather
Okay.
than a full
Yeah.
package or anything like that. So a lot of people are already online in some way, and I just work there to improve it. Are you still there?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess
That's
my
great.
screen's gone blank.
Oh, yeah, it seems like you've frozen. I can still hear you, but maybe the internet's a bit dodgy, which can happen
Yeah,
with these live streams sometimes.
yeah.
So, yeah, but we can see you. You might
Why
come
don't
back in a second.
you try taking him off and putting him back on?
Okay, let's try that.
Because my camera light's gone.
Okay, one moment. We'll just see if we can do that then. All right, and in the meantime,
Just
have you
like
got
you did with me. So you took me off and then brought me back on. Yeah, now put him back on. No. Is it
No,
going to
his
work?
internet might have frozen.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we can hear you though. Now we can't see you
Yeah.
either. So,
Yeah.
right.
Actually, my internet is frozen by the looks of it.
Okay. Well, maybe just restart and come back in, Jeff. And we'll keep
Yeah, I'll
chatting.
try that. Yeah.
Come back into the link, and we'll see you. I'll just remove you here. All right, there we go. Oh, there we go. I can see. Oh no, he's frozen. He's frozen in the green room. Okay. Well, we'll keep chatting here. And now Jeff did mention his website, which is reputationmarketingspecialist.com.au. So for those who are on the audio, we'll read that to you. Read that out. Reputation, REPUTATION, marketing, MARKETING, specialist, SPECIALIST.com.au. So all right, so hopefully Jeff will be able to join us in just a second. You can book a call with him. He works one-on-one. I think this topic is so important, Ken, because, when you look at how we do business nowadays, I was actually noticing the other day, I was looking for someone to work with on Fiverr. We all know the website Fiverr, and, I kind of a little bit behind in my taxes lately, and I'm looking for someone to do my QuickBooks online to reconcile some of my accounts. And when I was looking at all the people on Fiverr, what I was looking for was the reviews. I was looking for good reviews, and the guy that had the most reviews, I ended up contacting him. And yes, he may charge twice as much as the others. However, I'm more confident working with him and trusting him with my accounts because he has more reviews.
Yes.
Now, he may or may not be better than the others, but the fact that he's marketed himself better than the others as far as got the reviews to show the work. The others might be fantastic, but if they don't have reviews to show it and you're sorting through 100 different people to work with, well, who are you going to work with? So just notice how you make buying decisions for yourself. What is it that makes you want to buy with people? And what is it that when people do certain things that it is an exceptional customer service experience for you? So I'm always looking at that when I go to coffee shops, like just this morning, I went for a beach walk and a swim, and then I went to a coffee shop at Marina Mirage. And at Marina Mirage, this particular coffee shop, they go, oh yeah, you're always at table number 10. And they knew exactly what table we're at because we always go to this particular coffee shop. So knowing those little details, like that was a wow factor, that was very impressive for me that they remembered out of all the people they serve through the day, they remembered our table. Here we go. Jeff looks like, oh, there we are. Jeff's back. Yeah, welcome back, Jeff.
Yep,
welcome back. So we just shared your website there.
Stuff.
Yeah, don't you love it on the live stream? So we just go with the flow with this show, and thank you for bearing with us, those watching live and those on the replay. Let us know, actually, those watching. I can see there's a lot of people have joined us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, etc. So let us know, what are you getting out of this so far? What are some of the ahas you're getting about reputation marketing and how you can improve your reputation marketing, whether it be through reviews or customer service experience for your clients? What are some things you do that wow your customers that will lead to potentially getting a great review? Because the reviews aren't going to happen by themselves. Nowadays, I think it's not just enough to serve the customers. I think you've got to go above and beyond with your clients. You have to go above and beyond. That's what really stands out. That's what's going to get you the great reviews. That's in my opinion. And I was just sharing, Jeff, when you went off screen here, I just shared about, I was looking for someone on Fiverr to work with, and I went with the one that had the most reviews because I had more faith and more trust in that because they were a higher rated seller on this website and they had 30 plus reviews, whereas the others might have been able to do the job just as well. They're probably half the price of the person with the higher reviews. However, we're more confident working with the person with the higher reviews and even paying more because their reputation is coming across at such a higher level. And this is the thing, is that people don't care about what they're going to pay for a service if they have that trust in that business or in that person to work with.
Yeah, and the thing is, the trouble with a lot of businesses, they don't ask for those reviews.
Yes.
They've got to ask for them and make it easy for the customer to leave it by giving them that straight link. A lot of people don't know how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. Make it easy for your customers to leave a review, and wherever possible, get the camera out, do the video reviews wherever possible with your clients. As soon as they say that they love your service, oh, do you mind if I just get that quickly on camera, right? I just get a quick video of that and capture that. So love that.
And then I also have for the reviews to send to my clients. So I also have like a little template, like here. If you could answer these following questions for me in a video and share your testimony, so that they don't really have to, it kind of takes the, well, what am I going to say? How am I going to, so they've got a little template to follow by. I think it's got like 5 or 6, like real simple, basic questions on it. And that's the format for their testimony. The guy that actually did the whole branding around my website and everything else, he actually shared with me his template that he uses. And I asked him, I said, can I, because I was giving him a testimony. And I asked him, I'm like, can I use this? Can I, steal this from you? Because this is great. It's like it was a real simple template. And I just kind of customized it a little bit to match my brand. And that's also something that I use as well to help get reviews from people.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. You just got to make sure you don't tell them exactly what to say.
Oh, yes.
You can give them prompts. They have to say it in their own words.
Yes, say it in their own words. Yeah, because you do see people, oh, we'll make it easy for you. We'll just write the review for you. However, that's not authentic, my friends, and it doesn't come across in their voice. So definitely don't do that. You could give them some prompters and say, oh, you said this. Remind them what they said. Sometimes they might even forget what they said. Remind them could be helpful as well. So, yeah, I think there's some brilliant tips there. And I think also with your reputation, now people are going to Google you, right? And, are you Googleicious? I love that word, Googleicious. Are you Googleicious? What happens when someone Googles you? What are they going to see? And this is where I think it's important to have multiple channels where you are featured online. Now, I actually just Googled myself yesterday with my client. I was checking, what my client's online reputation was and I just said, look, when you Google me, what happens? You get to see all this social media come up. You see my Instagram, my LinkedIn, my Facebook, you see my website there as well. But, you see all this social proof and evidence that I'm across all these different channels. You see my YouTube, you see the X posts, you see, all of that. And, have you Googled yourself lately? And what have you found? You might be quite surprised at what actually, and sometimes there's things up there that I didn't even know were there. Other people have made comments and, they're things you can now reshare, or we put a press release out. I didn't know it appeared on a certain site and we go, oh, we can now share that one, right? So I do recommend regularly Google yourself.
Yeah,
and get on multiple platforms.
I found a lot more things that people can actually get themselves onto, and I'm recommending those to clients. With myself, it's a little bit hard because there's a lot of Jeff Sommers around. I've got a professor, an author, some guy who owns an ice cream factory, and a lot of real estate agents, all Jeff Sommers. So I'm competing with all of them. And if you've got an unusual name, you show up a lot more. But if you're competing with a whole lot of people with the same name, then you run into a bit of a challenge. But I'm up there anyway, and the people can quite often find me on page 1 near the top. And there's quite a few photos of me there too.
Amazing, because you've been active online and you probably have, I would imagine, you've got Jeff Sommers, reputation marketing specialist everywhere. And the fact that even your website is reputationmarketingspecialist.com.au, that will also help you get up the top of the rankings as well.
And I think that the whole thing is that you've got to make sure that you've got the name, address and phone number all the same. So that, your business name, your website name, your Google, your Facebook business page, all of those things have to have the same name and same address and same format, same phone number. If you have spaces in your phone number one place and you don't have spaces somewhere else, that's confusing to Google. So the more things that you can have matching, the easier you can get found.
Yeah, absolutely. And building your personal brand, I think, is really important. Even if you want to grow and scale your business and franchise and do all that, we still want to know about you because people follow people. People do business with people. Building that personal brand, I think, is crucial. So having yourname.com, for example, is really important, to have more out there about you and to have more video content out, very, very important, more photos, more as much content as you can. Now, we really need omnipresence. It's not enough nowadays just to be on one social media platform or, just to focus on publicity, right? Once upon a time, we'd get one story in the local paper, you'd be able to fill events. Nowadays, you've got to do a lot more than that, right? You've really got to have this omnipresent marketing approach, and it means you've got to consistently get out there. And if you don't want to do it, then outsource it. Get yourself, an assistant to help you with it, which I do. I have someone helping me. And it was actually interesting at the conference. Someone said, Aldwyn, you're on my feed all the time. And someone said, oh, yeah, Aldwyn, you're on my feed all the time. I said, well, that's great. Our marketing's working, right? So, this is the thing. Consistency is really, really important. So many people just give up too easily. They go, it's all too hard, and participate. As you say, social media is about being social. As you said, like, comment, share on other posts, show the love, right? Don't just be there to just see what you can get. There's a great quote that says, there's no greater purpose than being of service. How can you be of service to others? And, like this show right now, people are tuning in for free, right? We're consistently showing up. We've done nearly 60 episodes of giving amazing free content to our people. And there's the same people are popping on, same people and new people popping on every time. I'm seeing the same faces. And there's, you will grow a following. You will grow, your tribe will be attracted to your vibe, right? Your vibe attracts your tribe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And I want to thank everyone who's been, participating, commenting, liking our stuff, sharing our stuff. It's awesome. And of course, we're going to have people that don't like our stuff too, and that's okay. You're always going to have your lovers, your haters out there. It's okay. You're not there to be liked by everyone, as much as that is a basic human need that we want to be liked. However, you really need to build that resilience, I think, with reputation marketing as well, and be okay. There's going to be some people aren't going to like what you do, and that's okay. Then it's all about how are you going to address that? As you said, Jeff, if you get a bad review, how are you going to address that? What are you going to do about that? If someone has a complaint, how are you going to be about that? Are you going to call the person up and see what's going on? Because for a lot of people, often they just want to be heard. They'll make a complaint. And often people who have a complaint initially, if you actually give them great service around that complaint, often they'll end up being raving fans. So you can really turn people around quite easily as well, which is awesome. And it may not happen. So then the other tip I'll give is be committed, not attached. Be committed to what you want, however, not attached to what that's going to look like, because we can't control what other people are going to do. We can just control whether we're going to give the best service that we can possibly give, whether we're going to participate, how we're going to show up. We can contribute to all that. We can't contribute and can't control what other people do about that and how they're going to respond to that. And everyone's in their own space, and it's all valid. And I respect everyone's opinion, and not everyone is your people. Not all the people out there are your tribe, and that's okay. Some people are going to be triggered from what we've said on this show already, right? Some people, I mentioned that the jab was poison earlier, right? Some people are going to go, it's not poison. What are you talking about, right? So there's going to be people out there like that, right, that are going to really get their back up about that, right? And that's okay. That's their choice. That's their, opinion, and I respect that. And then there's others that have been questioning things. There's others that have been seeing the side effects. There's others that have seen people die suddenly. And so it's kind of like Russian roulette. Well, if you want to go ahead and, take a chance. If you want to take a chance on something like that, well, you go right ahead. Go get your next booster shot. That's what I'll say to you. Just go get your next booster shot. That's the thing to do, and just see how long you last, right? So unfortunately, there are a lot of people just bury their head in the sand that think the government really care about them. And unfortunately, the bad news is that they really don't. And in fact, there's been more wars by democide, by government than there's more people die from democide, from government, at government hands than anything else in the world. It's killed more people out there than ever. Anyway, I'm going to rant now, but what I'm saying is speak your truth regardless. There are going to be people that love you, people that hate you, that agree with you, that don't agree with you, and it's okay. However, do you have the guts to share your opinion about whatever it is in business, in life? Do you have the guts to share openly and honestly about what you feel and be respectful about other people's opinions at the same time?
And see, that's what's really cool about our show, The Total Truth Show, is we are very, very, very passionate about the truth. And it doesn't have to be the truth about geopolitical or what's going on in society or the lies of, the society. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like, we interview people of all kinds, and we have many, many wide variety of different topics and subjects and different things like that. But as I was sharing with Jeff earlier in our green room, as we call it, the virtual backstage before we went live, I consider the Total Truth Show as an extension of my brand. What's my brand? My brand is Mastery Weight Loss. But what am I passionate about in Mastery Weight Loss? Well, I'm passionate about the truth around the health industry, the truth around food and the deceptions of the marketing that they use on people to convince somebody that something's healthy when it's really not. I'm passionate about exposing those lies and sharing the truth to my clients so that I then empower them to now make wiser choices when it comes to their food. And thus, it helps them to get more long-lasting results in their journey. Total Truth Show. There was a while where I kind of just being a little honest here. There was a while where I just considered this a side, joint venture. It's cool and it's wonderful and it's fun. Recently, though, it was brought to my attention by a really good connection that that Total Truth Show is in fact an extension of my brand. It's part of my brand. It's not my brand, but it is part of my brand. Why? Because it's what I'm passionate about. It is the truth that I am passionate about sharing. And realizing that just kind of put a whole new light on things for me. But that's one of the reasons why we co-host this show, is because we're passionate about sharing, about exposing the lies that are out there and sharing the truth. And like I said before, it's around any topic, not just geopolitical. I mean, we tend to get a little bit political, a little bit, on this show, a little bit, because there's just so much going on, and we're very passionate about that. But our show's about the truth. And that's something that I think a lot of people can get very passionate about very quickly, is the truth. And that's what we share. I've done a lot of research. I know Aldwyn's done a lot of research, and I certainly know Jeff's done a lot of research. We had some very fun conversations before we started, Doug. We pressed the live button for today's episode. Jeff is very aware around a lot of things and a lot of deception. He's aware around the deceptions of the pharmaceuticals and everything's like that. That's one of the reasons why he's now doing what he's doing. He left that industry. That should tell you something. So anyhow, I will get off my bandwagon now.
Yeah, I love that, Ken. And it's having the courage to share your truth. And in fact, one of our previous shows is called The Truth About the Truth, right? Because our truth is not going to be your truth, right? And it's actually having the courage. Part of your brand is having the courage to speak your truth about what you know from your own experiences, from your own research. It's your truth. And we want to hear your truth. We want to hear your opinions. We want to hear why you've come up with these decisions. What is it that's impacted you? What makes you tick? We want to get to know you. And if you don't share your truth and you're like a puppet on a string, like a lot of people are, like puppets on a string, living, 90% of people die with regrets. They're living a life that others want them to lead rather than living their truth, right? It's absolutely flabbergasting to me. So what is your truth? What is your truth? And we want to hear it on your socials, in your marketing, on your website. And that is what will endear certain people to love what you do. And it will also lead some people to hate what you do, right? And I think it comes down to emotional intelligence. And we actually did do a show called The Truth About Emotional Intelligence as well. You might want to check out that previous episode as well. Emotional intelligence is massive, I think, nowadays. What are your thoughts about this, Jeff?
Well, basically, I think that, as far as emotional intelligence is concerned, I thought I'm more a logical person rather than an emotional person. And I tend to look at everything logically. And one of the things I do, I don't blame doctors and pharmacists for what's happening. I believe that the pharmaceutical industry as a whole is the most corrupt industry in the world today.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that they actually control all medical education.
Mm-hmm.
So doctors and pharmacists and nurses are just doing what they're educated for.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just following that. So I don't really blame them. I blame the pharmaceutical industry, and also blame the heads of all the different health industries as well for forcing all these things on. And they're not allowing doctors and pharmacists to think for themselves. So I tend to look at it that way. It's the pharmaceutical industry that causes the problem, and I just can't stand them at all. And as regards pharmacists and that, when I first entered pharmacy, I believed everything I was told. It was only after I'd been in there quite a few years I started to see the lies and corruptions. But a lot of people are not waking up because they've been fed all this bad information, and they just keep thinking it, they keep believing it.
Yeah,
That's
because it's easy. It's easy to believe it. It's easy to believe that the government actually cares about you. And in fact, a lot of people are brainwashed and don't realize they've been brainwashed, unfortunately. And it's easier to bury your head in the sand rather than sort of research some of this stuff. Because I must say, when I started researching, some of this stuff is hard to believe, right? And, and then, of course, anyone who talks against the government, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, that's all they can say, right? And that term was created by the CIA in the 1950s to knock anyone who spoke against the government. And now more people are speaking up. We're sick of the lies, the censorship of information. I mean, look what's happened to Julian Assange. Julian Assange is an absolute hero in my books. 2010, he was in prison because he shared documents revealing government secrets and the corrupt, nature of a lot of the elite in this world. 2010, and now there's a movie called The Trust Fall that people are sharing all over the place, all about his story to bring awareness to this. And this is the thing: if there's nothing to hide, why the censorship of information? Why the censorship? And thank God now we have alternative media like BitChute, like Rumble, like Telegram, like Signal. We have alternative media. You can't just rely on one media form. Hence why we stream out to 8 different destinations, and we stream it out everywhere with our show, and we keep backup copies of everything because we know we don't control the platforms. Anything can happen with any of the social media platforms, and so having your own website is really crucial, as well as keeping backup of all of your stuff, because we never know what others are going to do with your information. But this censorship is making people now question things. Well, why is it that the fact checkers think this goes against community standards? What community standards does that actually go against? Can you give us a bit more information about that, please?
I'm going to give another really good example of something that just recently happened that I've been watching. I've been watching in a way to where I've been very entertained because people are seeing through it right now. And it's just so amazing to see. So there was a recent speech that Trump did. You can like him, hate him. I don't care. He's my hero, and I will stand firm on that. But there's a recent speech that he did. And in the speech, he said something to the fact of it was going to be a bloodbath if he was not elected again. Something to that matter. But that's what the media put out there. The interesting thing is when the real video was finally shared, and there's so many people that caught on to it, Trump was actually speaking of the automobile industry, being it was going to be a bloodbath for them because of certain economic things and what they're trying to do with the vehicle industry. If Trump does not come back, the vehicle industry could quite collapse. And so that's what he was speaking of when he talked about it was going to be a bloodbath. And what's interesting is the media took that clip and all they shared was his statement. It was going to be a bloodbath, and they twisted it into something that it wasn't. They didn't share the whole clip. Well, now there is thousands and thousands of people that are sharing the comparison. They are putting the video out there of what the news media said that he said. And then they're putting the other video of what he actually said beside it. This is an example of why you really need to do the research for yourself. You need to double check these people. You need to fact check the fact checkers.
Yes.
And call them on their crap.
Yes.
That's not the word I want to use.
Yeah.
And this will probably be one of the few episodes that I use this word. You need to call them on their shit. To be quite frank and blunt, enough is enough. How long is the complacency going to go on before you finally start getting your head up out of the sand and doing the research for yourself and looking at the alternate platforms on what the people are saying? What are you afraid of finding? Is your cognitive dissonance that bad that you're afraid that you're going to wake up and find out that everything you've ever believed in was a lie? I'm sorry to say, people, I've already been through that moment. That moment happened to me through the last half of 2020 when I realized how much lies and deception was around me. You're going to have to go through that process because the truth is being revealed around you right now. And you have a choice. You can either get your head out of the sand and do the research and take the plunge, or you can stay hidden. And then, Anyhow, sorry, my bandwagon. Sorry.
I love that, Ken. And it's like the Matrix, blue pill, red pill. We've got it in our new branding, right? Once you take the red pill, there ain't no going back to the blue pill, let me tell you. And, it happened for me years ago when, I worked in the media. I believed everything that the media put out for years. And, when 9/11 happened, a friend of mine said, that's an inside job, don't you? I said, what do you mean inside job? I was like, oh. And he said, all he said to me is just watch this video, watch this video, watch this video. And they're all David Icke videos actually in the early days. And I started to watch them and I started to go, oh my gosh. And I was just very curious. And then I started to do a bit more research. I started to Google information. I found that there was so much online that wasn't shared in the mainstream media. And I saw the press release went out before the actual building went down, that people were told not to enter the building before, there was lots and lots of evidence out there of why this was an inside job. But at first, I didn't believe it because I believed what I saw in the mainstream media. And this is where the reputation of the media has gone way down, because people don't trust the media anymore. They don't trust the mainstream media. And this is why I got out of the media in the end, and why I do my own thing now, right? And so this is where you and I came together, Kenna. You were passionate about the truth in health. I'm passionate about the truth in the media. And we speak our truth on that. And, of course, at first, when you take the red pill initially and you start to wake up, you of course, there's going to be times you're going to be angry, you're going to be frustrated, you're going to feel deceived, you're going to feel, and this is where there's been a lot of suicides and a lot of, some people think, well, there's no point even living. However, I do encourage you to always look at what you can be grateful for, because once you have this new information, you can make empowered choices for yourself. Yes. You can choose whether you want to get those booster shots or not. You can choose how you're going to, if you're going to get self-sustainable with your own garden and things like that. There's lots of things we can do to empower ourselves. Join communities, the common law communities, know about your rights. There's a lot starting to bubble up to the surface. And today is the equinox. Which means new beginnings, awakening, rebirth, growth is all happening. So now is the perfect time to create change, to start to research things, and to become empowered with this new information. Use it as a tool to empower yourselves, your families, and your communities. We do need to wrap up shortly, Jeff. We've got on our little bandwagons there. Anything you want to add to this conversation on that?
Yeah, see what happens when we get going on our, the passions. And this is, we're talking about the truth about reputation marketing, you guys. And it's in the name. Reputation is also all about truth, telling the truth, sharing the truth, and being that truth. And that's also encompassed in reputation marketing. It builds your reputation. If you're telling the truth, if you're sharing the truth, if you're passionate about that truth, the people see that builds your reputation. So kind of bringing it back into the topic. And now back to you, Jeff.
Yeah, no, I really believe in the truth and all this stuff that's coming about climate change. I was taught when I was young, trees take in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen, which is good for us. I've seen streets that have been lined with trees. They get rid of the trees and the temperature goes up about 10 degrees and things like that. And all this about climate change, all they've got to do is plant more trees. But from what I've been reading, there's already enough trees in the world to take care of all of the carbon dioxide that's being produced anyway. And on top of that, Australia produces so little, and we get a country like China, and they're starting up a whole lot of more coal-fired power stations. They're starting up, and we're closing down. They're putting up hundreds. We're closing down a few. And what we can do for climate change is negligible on a worldwide basis, and it's costing the country a fortune.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we actually just talked about this on Media Maven's show last night, where we talked about It's Cool to Be Wise and interviewed Melinda Richards. And I actually did a bit of research on carbon tax. Do you know over 27 countries now have charged carbon tax? This whole climate change thing. If you really want to know what's going on in the world, guys, just follow the money trail. Who is profiting from these? Who is profiting from this information? This is the question to ask, Very interesting, Jeff. I'm glad you brought that up. Climate change. Yes, do your own research, guys. Now, we do need to start to wrap up the show. Now, we've shared your link before there, Jeff. Is there any final things you want to say about reputation marketing before we ask you about your favorite quote or motto?
Yeah, well, basically, I think that reputation is basic for everybody. You've got to establish a reputation online to be trusted. Especially if you're in business, people want to know, like, and trust you. That people want to deal with a person they can trust. So you've got to get out there, be found at as many places as possible in a positive manner, and that's what you've got to do. And so I love that, getting out there, being online as much as possible, being active. Don't just set it up and forget it. You've got to be active all the time. That's the main thing.
Yeah, love that. Love that. Thank you so much. And of course, popping that comment up there again, reputation marketing specialist.com.au. That's specialist without an S on the end, specialist, it's singular. And what's the quote you'd like to share with us today, Jeff?
Well, basically, it's something I keep telling kids. When you leave school, you don't stop learning. You are learning all your life.
Yes.
I am still on a great learning curve at my age. And if you don't stop learning, your life just disappears. You've got to keep learning and expanding and growing, because what I knew years ago no longer applies. And if you don't keep learning, would you believe there at one stage there I wanted to get through to retirement without using a computer? That was before computers came into pharmacy. And the reason I didn't want to be involved was that the guy down the road spent the whole night, the last night of the week, the month rather, reprogramming his computer for the changes that were happening the next day. Back in those days, computers would all run on DOS.
I remember that. Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah,
like
a
a
lot of
blast from the
programming.
past.
Yes.
And then they brought out, I had to learn the computers when they come in overnight. And then we would have a disk sent to us, and we just put that in, and that would update the computer. And now they do it all online. So all the updates are done like that these days. So it's a lot easier. But I was dreading having to write code. But now everything's so much easier, and you just got to go with the flow.
Yeah, I love that. And adapt with the times. You know, the mass media world has certainly changed. I mean, the last 20 years, if you think about Facebook started 2004, 20 years, and now we've got half the world's population are active social media users. So if you want to get your message to the masses, which is what we do with people, then you've got to go where the masses are, right? You've got to get your information out using the social media. If I resisted social media, I'd be the world's best kept secret right now. You know, the publicity doesn't cut it like it used to cut it. It's still valuable for building your reputation, for building your authority, for, you know, getting on TV, radio, print is still very valuable. And there are some great journalists out there, and there is some great media that do cover the truth in the media. There are some great people. It's not, we don't want to say all the mainstream media is bad and negative and false. There is a lot of fake news, and Donald Trump calls it out. He calls it fake news, and a lot of it is fake news, true, because there are other agendas at play. However, there's also a lot of positive and a lot of great reporters and news going out as well. People like Julian Assange, right? You know, that's truth media. And, you know, we've seen a lot more of that as well come to the surface. And so I love what you say there, Jeff, you know, always learning. We never learn less. We never learn less. Absolutely love that. It's been a pleasure having you on the show, Jeff. I've absolutely loved chatting with you today at 82 years of age. See, guys, 82. Look at that, Jeff. So you never learn less, right? Keep getting out there, keep learning, keep growing, evolving, and be willing to change. Be willing to change.
And get out there and mix with people as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm in BX, and I'm actually on team at Springwood. So, you know, I'm out there and I'm actually doing stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's awesome, Jeff. I love it. You're absolute inspiration for people. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And in fact, my dad is 86 and he is on Facebook. My dad's on Facebook, right? He doesn't have a mobile phone. He still does the landline. However, you know, he's on Facebook, so good on him. He's taken some action there to go with the times to connect with family and friends across the world. So you know, you're never too old to, you know, to start a new beginning. And, you know, great quote. One of my favorite quotes is, "It takes a lifetime to be an overnight success." Right? It takes a lifetime to be an overnight success.
Right.
I love it. Now, Ken, over to you. How can people connect with you, my friend?
The best way to connect with me is through my link tree. And on my link tree, you're going to find, well, now there's 4 links on my link tree that are very, very important. And the first one at the very top of the list is a brand new masterclass and group coaching launch that is coming up this Friday, March 22nd, 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern. And so you can click on there and register for that masterclass. That masterclass is free. It's just the soft launch of our group coaching program, which there is a cost associated to that but the masterclass itself is free. So there's that. And then ways to connect with me directly. One is Facebook. You will also find a link for that as well up at the top of the list to connect with me on Facebook. Secondly is my calendar link. There's a link that takes you right over to my online calendar. You can find a date and a time that works for you. Book it in. I automatically get notified, and boom, we're on Zoom together and we get to meet and collaborate. I would love to meet you. Even if you decide not to work with me, I would just love the opportunity to connect with you, get to know you better, and vice versa. Lastly is a link to my website, masteryweightloss.com. And on there, you can see everything that there is to see about me. There's my own personal free masterclass that's on the website as well. That's just recently been updated. It is an evergreen masterclass, so you can sign up for it at any time during the day. It replays it every 15 minutes. Great stuff in there. It's only about an hour and 15 minutes of your time. And so check that out. And then also on my website, you can find my podcast, my personal podcast, which is there as well. And my link tree. For those listening by audio, it's www.linktr.ee/FatFighterKen. And that is it.
Thank you, Ken. In fact, with the link tree, you actually don't even need the W's. You don't actually even need to type that in. You can just put linktree, linktr.ee/FatFighterKen, and you'll be able to get to all of Ken's links. And what's the quote you'd like to share with us today, Ken?
Well, in light of the fact that we have talked about Donald Trump today, I am going to quote from him, "Treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation," by Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, love that. Thank you so much, Ken. And for those who want to connect with me, you can go to my link tree, which is linktr.ee/Aldwyn, ALDWYN. And in there, you'll see all my links. I've actually got about 50 there, but recently I put some headlines into my link tree, so it's a lot easier to follow. I've got all my shows in there. I've got all my free resources there, a whole lot of really cool stuff. You can watch a webinar in there on how to gain free publicity and how to build an online TV show. If you'd like extra support on your marketing journey, if you want to be seen, heard, and known, we have a mass media mastery program, and we also do PR for people. We will actually also build your brand for you. So if you're a busy person and you don't have much time to do your own marketing, then reach out to us. We can definitely help catapult your success to help you be seen, heard, and known. So the best thing to do is to hop along there, book a call with me. There's my calendar link in there. Book a call. Let's have a chat and let's see where you're at and see if we are a good match and whether we can help you on your journey. And then also we have the Global Good News Challenge every month as well, which is free marketing for you and a great way that you can share gratitude and good news and help to lift your energy and lift the energy on the planet, help to decrease depression and suicide rates. All the details are at the top of the Global Good News Challenge Facebook page, which is linked in my link tree as well. So hop along there, linktr.ee/Aldwyn has all of those links, and check out my YouTube channel, Aldwyn Altuney Media Queen TV as well. We've got over 1,000 videos in there. We've had over 200,000 views across all of our videos now, which is really cool. And, consistency is so important, right? I've had that YouTube channel for like 10 years now. In fact, I interviewed David Icke back in 2016, which is also on there. You might want to check that out. We've got Conscious Community Global Facebook group, which has got a whole lot of great resources for you. And if you haven't seen the Out of Shadows documentary, I recommend go and check that one out, which is in that Facebook group. Very powerful doco. And also the Thrive documentaries are brilliant. So lots of great resources. Look forward to staying connected with you. And I want to welcome on Instagram, we've got Mario Beckish has joined us from Sydney. Mario interviewed me on his podcast recently, and he's an awesome guy, and I've interviewed him as well. Also, Jackie Linevard, hello. We've got Ingalisa Hamu, Amazing Amy, Josie Fennick, hello. Let us know, for those who've joined us live, what have you got out of this show? Pop your comments in. What's something you've learned, maybe something you're going to do now to boost your reputation marketing? What are some gems you've got from the show? And if you've enjoyed it, please like our show, comment, like wherever you're watching this. Make a comment. We'd love some reviews, of course, as well. There we go. Put it out there. We've got a Total Truth Show Facebook page. So if you've really enjoyed it, we'd love for you to pop a review in there. That would be absolutely awesome. And of course, we will celebrate you and we will respond to your reviews as well. So I really look forward to that. And the quote, I'm actually going to share 2 quotes today. One from Jeff Bezos from Amazon. Your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. Your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. And another one from Warren Buffett. It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you'll do things differently.
Wow.
Isn't that a great quote as well? Thank you so much for joining us, for everyone who's joined us on the live. Any final words, Jeff or Ken?
Yeah, Jeff. So one of the things, if somebody wants to get in touch with me, on my website, there is a button there where they can actually click to go through to my Calendly link to program a Zoom call with me, and that will actually give them. Well, I can discuss whatever any questions they've got, see if I can help them in any way, and so I'm open to that at any time. So my calendar link is actually on the website with a button.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
All right. So hop along there, reputationmarketingspecialist.com.au, and you can book a call with Jeff. You can book a call with any of us on any of our links. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, Jeff. And
Thank you.
congratulations for all the great work you do and for being consistent and for being out there and learning and growing at 82 years of age. It's a true inspiration. And, they say 70 is the new 40 nowadays. So I think you're just getting started, Jeff.
Please. My
Just
grandfather had a sister that went to 103. I want to beat that.
Awesome. I love it.
Wow.
Well, you're doing all the right things health-wise. So there's no reason why that won't happen. I think if you put it out there, you will absolutely make it happen. If you say to yourself, I'll be dead by 90, then you will be dead by 90. Some people say, I'll be dead in 3 months. Yeah, you will be dead in 3 months. If that's, we are incredibly powerful. So be careful what you say to yourself, guys, and be very conscious of the conversations you have with yourself. And so you want to beat 103. That's awesome, Jeff. Let's see how far you will go with this. And of course, we are spiritual beings having a human experience anyway, and every day on the planet is an absolute blessing. So blessings to you. Thank you for joining us. Sending you much love for those who've joined us live, or if you've watched the replay, let us know live or replay in the comments, and we would love to hear how you found the show, any of the gems that you have got. If you put them in the chat, that will cement it for you and also for others who see your show. Ken, any final words from you before we wrap up today?
Not at all. Jeff, it's been such a pleasure having you on the show, and you truly are an inspiration. Being at 82, you've got a very sharp mind. You are extremely intelligent, and you are a perfect example of what can be when you take care of yourself and you take care of your health. And so it's been an amazing opportunity to have you on the show today.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's been brilliant. Yeah. All right. Have a beautiful day or night wherever you are in the world. We'll see you again next time on Total Truth Show. Bye for now. Bye.